Hello, moviegoers. You are listening to Stoplight Spoilers, Episode 1, The Fate of the Furious. I am Isaiah, and later you'll meet my co-host Jake. This is the podcast where two guys go watch a movie once a week and record a podcast on the way home. This week, we watched The Fate of the Furious. We're going to be talking about a lot of the audacities that happened in this film, as well as some mistakes and what we liked. Now, let's get into the movie. Warning. The following contains spoilers. Listener discretion is advised. Alright. What's your first take rating? It was ludicrous, but
Ludicrous is in the movie.
It was intentional. I don't. 8 seems aggressive, but I want to go there because it was very entertaining. It was awful.
It was supremely entertaining. I will agree with that.
But they
I also don't want to be the first one to give it my number every week either.
I'll give it a 6.
Whoa!
That's not bad.
Okay.
That's different.
I'm impressed.
Mainly because they've got a solid lineup of actors.
I will also have to say, I have to just point out one little tidbit, is that I feel that you weren't quite correct in saying you didn't have to watch the previous movies. Because some of the character development of Jason Statham, his brother, etc., you don't really know everything that happened
I totally
in their
forgot.
stories.
I didn't know he knocked up a blonde girl.
Yeah.
That threw me off too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, well, because he thought Letty was dead. Now, from what I don't recall them ever covering she was pregnant in any way.
Right.
But yes, he did have another person, and it's because he thought Letty was dead, and she mentioned that. And, so there were some things that, it seems they're not quite as tight as, say, Saw, for example. But the two goofy dudes that got out of the garbage truck, they're in the franchise.
I had no idea who they
They're
were.
normal people.
I had a feeling they were somewhere.
They were, and that's why I started laughing, because I got that. But I don't recall every single little tidbit, but I did enjoy the whole, oh, you have a baby. Anyway, so little bits would have been cool had you known it. It would have tied it a little bit tighter for you, especially with...
I would have gave it a 6.
Fair enough. But still, with Jason Statham, I was definitely a 7.
Okay.
Like, that was my initial number. First take, 7 and maybe a little bit more. I was very entertained by the movie, so in entertainment, I definitely give it, like you, an 8. Just basis on entertainment. Because I was entertained.
Yeah.
And because I've watched all of them, I have enough understanding of the characters.
I think I've watched them all, and I still was like, man, I'm so lost.
But since I understood a lot of it, to me, it held. It held its own as a movie. Let's say if you didn't know, there is some loss. Like, had you not seen any of the other movies, period, let's say you've never seen a Fast and the Furious, you don't know what's going on in the movie. Like, for example, the baby even being named Brian. I thought when mom first said, hey, I'm going to let his dad name the baby, I knew it was either going to be called Paul or it was going to be called Brian.
That was a given.
Yeah, that was just one of those things I was like, and I would have really appreciated it a little bit more beyond what they did had they actually named him Paul.
I think
because
that would have been better.
They would have used a real life person. Now I see where they were coming from, and it totally makes sense to reference the in-movie family character and give him that name, and totally get it. And
but
I think
he's not dead.
the correct Brian in the movie technically is not dead, and I get it. But it was their way of paying homage to Paul Walker. And I appreciate that it happened just at all.
I do agree.
But I think it would have been even better had they actually just named him Paul.
Yes, I think that would have been a much better homage to him.
It would have just been, oh man, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So either way, that one was cool. I was excited to see when Dom finally said it. Which is it going to be? Is it going to be Paul or is it going to be...
That was the only
Brian.
anticipation I had in the entire movie.
Fair enough.
It was going to be Paul and Brian.
Fair enough.
The only anticipation?
Only anticipating.
I had, anyway, so yeah, I give it a 7, maybe 8 in that range. Rewatch for me is also pretty high. I'd definitely put it at least a 5 or 6 because there'd be little things that I would like to go and like rewatch the first, like maybe 5, 6, and 7, or just 6 and 7, and really watch those again, and then catch all the little tiny bits.
I need to watch Jason's
I have
character
all 7.
development.
I own all 7.
Because I just don't remember why they're so upset with each other.
Yeah, I need to see that one myself.
So
I don't understand why they're so upset.
Yeah, I can't recall all this stuff either.
See?
And I've watched them all.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen it. I just don't. So that wasn't a big enough plot point in the other movie for me to remember.
Right. That was part of the reason why I did intend to watch 6 and 7 before going into this one, and I just totally never got around to doing it. I've just been watching American Ninja Warrior and Team Ninja Warrior a bunch, and it's so much awesome. So much awesome, I said. But definitely it's high on a rewatch for me because I was entertained.
It was entertaining.
To go, I'm going to jump way toward the end of the movie, though.
let's go backwards. Start at the end.
I just have to really cover, everything was obnoxious, everything was stupid, and it was expected in standard Fast and the Furious fashion. And I get it. I didn't have a problem with anything, really. As obnoxious as the autonomous driving hack was, as obnoxious and stupid as it was so over the top awesome when the cars started pouring out the building. I considered it acceptable. I liked it. It was entertaining.
It was creative destruction. The one thing I really
it was the thing that everybody was talking about coming out of the theater, was this submarine and this whole scene of the lake, how long they were on the ice, how much stuff happened, how they still never reached the freaking gate after 20 minutes, and how for some reason this submarine was so fast, and they're like, oh, they're definitely going to beat us to the wall. Let's just say, all right, they were going to beat you to the wall. They have to stop their cars. They have to get out of their cars. They have to hack the gate. And this sub was right underneath them. It was an impossibility.
Right.
There was no way they were ever going to beat that submarine if, when she's like, oh no, they're going to beat us, pop it up out of the ice. Pop goes the weasel immediately right behind them. There would have been no way that could have won. She would have won, guaranteed. Because how are they going to suddenly get all this amazing distance away from the submarine, get out of their cars, hack this bridge or gate, and do all that before the sub got there? So that was the part, no sense whatsoever.
I think the sub had NOS.
Alright. No.
Actually, now that you brought that up,
the sub pulled the vacuum line.
That actually makes more sense. I could agree with you now.
The Russian submarine had NOS. You're right, because the Russians are also fans of Fast and the Furious. No, they're fans of XXX.
Yes.
Because it's Russian. And so that whole tie-in, that's what happened, is they really like Xander Cage. Cage, right?
I think that's
is it Gage or Cage?
Xander, whatever his last name is.
I think it is Cage.
So they really like him, so they Xandered that sub. That's what happened. One other thing I want to point out where they messed up, legit messed up, is in one of the wide-angle scenes in the very first scene of the movie with the race of him driving the Chevrolet backwards. On a wide shot, as he and the Cuban fella are approaching the finish line, Toretto is going backwards. And then I was like, that's weird. Why is the car on the back of his car and it looks like the car is going backwards? Then immediate scene change, cut. Camera, not scene change, but immediate cut to where he's going forwards again. Well, then moments later, several seconds after that, Toretto does the whole whip around and goes in reverse. So that was an editing error that I caught, which was pretty funny. And then, of course, reverse, however fast that other Chevy was going forwards, apparently Toretto could keep up with him, the slowest car on the island, in reverse.
He had NOS and his little string power.
Right. No, I get that. But it was reverse.
Yeah.
No matter how much power you got, a single speed in reverse.
The entire
keep up.
race was just to set up for him to owe him a favor later.
Oh, yeah, it was just, well, it was the
It was the most
respect. It wasn't even a
ridiculous
favor
one.
thing. It was just a, oh, I respect you. I'm sure I'll help you out later in the movie.
Yeah, no.
At least he made it later in the movie. Because you remember I did mention it to you.
fulfill that.
I was
for
like,
you.
if that guy does not show back up, then the entire beginning of this movie was stupid.
I enjoyed how he took the car apart. He just walked up to fenders and just like took it apart.
I enjoyed
like, why is this car not falling apart? Just
Right.
driving because he just took it
I
apart.
did enjoy the fact that the motor was glowing red. I was like, that's a good touch. But yeah, that one editing error, and then the fact that you can't drive reverse that fast.
Well, everything you did with the car was impossible in the first place.
I'm gonna go home and pull the vacuum line off my bike.
Yeah, it was obnoxious. And it worked, though, up until the whole reverse thing. It's in my head.
Wow!
It's just because everything
What?
is semi-reasonable.
The vacuum line and with the pop lid.
Yeah, it's just... No, it doesn't make sense. But at least he was going forwards when that happened. You know what I mean? Alright, it doesn't work. But it does work better.
I
for
honestly
me.
thought he was gonna shoot a part of his engine. Like in my mind, the way he's like eyeballing the car.
The way I thought too.
I thought he was gonna like shoot his turbo off or something. I was like, this is a fun idea.
Engine? Is he gonna
No,
load it
they
over
even
there?
went more ridiculous. And then, okay, same scene. He's just like rearing to the crowd, right? Can't stop. Spins out, like rolls out of the car, and the car gets launched like 30 feet in the air or something, right? Not a scratch, not
the
a
wall?
dirt mark. No,
Oh,
on
okay.
him.
Oh.
Like nothing. Like didn't even faze him.
It did get his clothes a little bit dirty.
He
Remember
was-
he had painter pants?
Yeah.
And his pants were a little bit smudgy.
But he was moving to move.
Okay.
Yeah. To shoot a car that high in the air, how fast would it have to be going?
Oh, and he only rolled like twice.
That's what I'm saying. Like that is
No, those things were fun.
bogus.
He didn't have to like relocate his shoulder or anything.
No, it didn't even phase him.
I have to point out a couple things that I did also super duper enjoy, and I might have missed some even, but when they referred to The Rock, Jason Statham calling him Hercules, that made me giggle because he's played the role of Hercules.
That was funny.
That one made me laugh. And then I like when he called him Twinkle Toes because I might be wrong, but I feel like I remember the one where he was a football player, had the daughter show up on his doorstep. I feel like his nickname on that football team was Twinkle Toes.
I have to look that up, but I'm very possible. But I definitely feel there was a reference. I just couldn't.
But that one,
figure out.
is that one the Tooth Fairy?
That's the Tooth Fairy. Yeah.
That's the one I'm thinking of, right?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
And I almost want to think, if I remember correctly, they called him Twinkle Toes on that. But I don't remember.
I feel
for
like
sure.
that's what it is.
Alright, so your nose.
The first thing, did they actually close last movie with him being in Cuba, or is that a thing? Or he's just now in
I
Cuba?
can't remember.
Okay.
But I did love his Impala.
I liked how generous he was.
Yeah. Right, his family. I also really liked his black GTX.
I did put the quote on here, it's not what's under the hood, or however it
That's how you
went.
drive it.
But, no. In that exact race, you can't just pull fenders off and pull back
You
in
know,
line.
it's that
Hey,
much weight.
it was like your Grom, dude. Everything you took off of that, you had horsepower.
No. Didn't have more, but yeah, power to weight.
No, I'll be fine. Anyway.
But with no aerodynamics whatsoever.
Oh, that's
I
how he went
really
so fast
enjoyed
backwards.
his,
He had more aerodynamics.
it makes, actually, the backward scene makes more sense to me.
It does now.
I enjoyed
Aerodynamics.
The Rock as the soccer coach. He was really funny.
He
That
was
great.
He
I
was
love the
super
Hawkeye.
entertaining.
That was great.
Exactly. I liked it. Well, because Rock's done that a couple times now in his films, and then of course playing the voice of Maui in Moana. I was like, that's fun. So yeah, that was cool to see that.
I also, the wrecking ball was a sweet touch.
It was hilarious. I just love how much Exhibit picks on Roman. And I love the little wink emoji that he had on. He's like, seriously?
Oh, okay. This is a good one. One taser releases the whole
Oh,
prison.
the whole prison cell. I mean, you both were like,
What?
Really?
One taser to that little thing up there. No one, like, there should be some fail safes in place.
The whole thing. Yeah, that was funny.
All doors instantly open. Mayhem.
Other than the taser thing, I did enjoy the scene. I like the multiple levels. And
Dude, I like when he jumped off and bounced off the fence.
The fence, yeah, that's what I was going to. When the rock slid underneath the rail.
That was good.
That was fun.
I like Jason running through. He did a great job.
But that's what I mean. Like, the whole bit, the 3 layers, that all worked super duper well.
I really enjoyed the pure ferocious berserker strength they gave the rock.
Yeah, Hercules.
He was.
Yeah, well, one thing I did think was funny, I'm going to point this out. He ripped a concrete bench off of the wall and proceeded to curl it. Yet, he had to have Jason Statham's help to put a transmission in the car. Well, not even in the car.
Yeah.
To pick it up and put it on the table. He's like, you want to give me a hand with
That's
this?
a very good point. Maybe he's just trying to be a teamwork.
Oh, no. That's a stretch, but maybe. I'll let it slide.
But I also think the EMPs would be heavy, and Vin Diesel rocked that thing.
He did. Also, too, since you're on the EMP, at first I was like, did they somehow figure out how to make the EMP directional to not fry the wiring on his car? So I was like, okay, fine, whatever, they made it directional. Then when he does the EMP blast under the submarine, he takes out everything in a 360, in a radius even, in a big bubble, but yet still left his own car unaffected.
Well, it's an old car. It doesn't have...
See, I could
It
almost...
has electronics to some point.
I could almost get by with that. But the sub, they just rebooted? Because I don't know, I'm no scientist, and I don't know electronics, but I think EMPs do a little more damage than just turn it back on, doesn't it?
Well, at least in all the other movies, the EMPs hit.
Yeah, I'm an EMP movie expert, is what I'm going to be. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
But yeah, the chopper goes down, and he just drives away like it didn't even phase it. Mm-hmm. So maybe, since it was an old car, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Everything was all of her surveillance on him still worked. Uh-huh. Yeah, it was stupid.
Yeah, he had a jammer in his car.
Oh, he had an EMP shield.
EMP shield.
No.
That's what all the bulletproofing was.
I did think it was very funny on the bulletproofing, since you see things you say that kind of... There was tons of bullet... Well, before the Lambo door, all the bullet holes in Toretto's thing in the sub scene, right? There were bullet holes riddled his car, yet it was a bulletproof car. They wouldn't be holes, like all those little hole stickers. Yeah. It actually showed paint peeled back, like it's exposing the metal and the paint fell off of it, peeling back with a hole in each one of those. I'm like, if it's bulletproof, a bullet wouldn't penetrate and then therefore leave a bullet hole.
Maybe it's from the inside, so it's getting through the sheet metal. That's my only excuse. In the sheet metal?
Well, see, also the issue with that...
No, I'm not saying it makes
really
sense.
Big machine guns on them. Most armored cars aren't going to survive that.
Well, and they were shooting the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, excuse me.
Oh.
But I think the most blatant disregard for that was the Lambo.
I don't know if it's going to smell, but...
What was that? Yeah, the Lambo door for Roman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The blatant disregard for what?
Well, he was able...
Bulletproofness. The fact that the door took all those bullets? No.
Lambos.
No.
Lambos.
Well, they did at least show that the glass on that particular scene, that shot of the door, was like a bolted-on plexiglass. Although I don't think any of the scenes prior to that had that style of glass on it. Oh, another thing I thought was very interesting, and I could be wrong, but I really don't feel that bulletproof plexiglass that's that thick on the big Maybach limousine would just electronically roll down with the push of a button. It was like...
Yeah, I don't know.
And it was also super thin when it rolled down.
So probably... Gotcha.
That whole scene, though, with the automatic cars and the machine gun on top of the SUV, I really felt like that was just a mission out of Grand Theft Auto.
Ooh, yeah, but it was good though.
It was good
Because I liked it in Grand Theft Auto. No, I get it. I like that in Grand Theft Auto, and I liked it in this.
Yeah.
Like, out of the stupid scenes in the movie, I think that might have been one of my overall favorites. Because there was 5 grappling hooks. He flipped a freaking Bentley over. Because he had 5,000 horsepower. Like, they just...
Because his tires are spinning, and then he hits Nos, and that's all he's going to do is
all
make...
the vehicles that were holding him was combined 5,000.
Oh, maybe that's what he was referring to. I thought he said... Man, he must have like 1,000 horsepower, 2,000 horsepower or something. I thought they were talking about
all the
Dom's
combined
car.
vehicles that was.
Ooh, see, now I'm gonna have to watch that scene again.
But I don't understand how hitting Nos, already spinning your tires and hitting Nos is actually helping him.
It gave him more traction. What do you mean?
No.
Nos goes straight to the tires and gives them more traction.
Makes them sticky.
Yes, that's exactly what happens. I mean, I'm no expert in the automotive field, but I'm pretty sure that's the way NOS works.
I'm going to be the science expert of the podcast, and you can be the automotive expert. And you're physics. So speaking of physics, I know Mythbusters did this because I was curious, but driving into a plane, Jacob said that can't happen. Like, and stop, because he's going so fast. What's your take on that?
I call BS.
I don't know what would happen.
I
feel like your drive shaft would just rip out.
I don't feel that he could
I don't think he would have momentum.
In 20 minutes.
In 20 minutes?
I mean, 20 feet. It was about 20 feet going up the ramp and stopping. I just don't feel like you could stop that.
I just don't feel like...
So if you're spinning,
in relationship to the plane, he wasn't going 200 miles an hour.
That plane wasn't going that slow.
No, but it showed him hitting really fast, too.
Yeah.
So that one, let's say that one worked. But, okay, you gotta... Technically, the road is stationary, and his tires are rolling over the road.
Yeah.
So when he hits the metal on the plane, it's effectively the same as the road, correct? Because the road isn't moving necessarily, but the tires are moving over it at a rate of speed that matches what the plane was traveling.
I don't know. I guess so, yes. But I feel like...
Either way, when they show him in there and the door closes... He's not that far from the door where his car stopped.
Right. It's about 20 feet, give or take. A little bit more, maybe.
So maybe the landing, but I'm just so curious what would happen. I feel like something would happen weird.
I just don't know how he could stop that fast.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, NOS on the tires.
NOS on the tires.
NOS on the tires gave him traction.
I could see him getting into the
Now, if he did it in reverse, that would make sense to me. Just kidding. It would make sense to the movie, though.
It had a lot of Fast and the Furious logic.
It did, but it was still super enjoyable.
It was a good action movie. Romance and comedy.
God's Eye was really cool.
Oh, I had the God's Eye, and then when she's like, the devil's bumhole? Like, I was like...
That was funny.
Did you see that? Did you know that Jason Statham was alive? Okay.
Yeah, I mean the way he died, they looked like that he shot his shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's what it looked like, but then I was like, oh, they said he's dead. He must be dead.
Yeah.
Well,
I was like, that was his mother, because obviously. And then I was like, so the other son's going to be out somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy when The Rock was about to be put in prison. And they didn't bother restraining him again.
Yeah, re-restraining him.
That was really funny.
I did like how he threw that guy up on the wall.
That was pretty funny.
That was great.
He's like, what about your daughter? And he just had him, chokehold in the wall.
I also think that they did a very good job with their timing of Dom's return when they're in the secret hideout and they magically find him. And it's like, oh, he's here.
Kaboom. I mean, that was Hollywood.
Convenient.
That was weak.
That was Hollywood. He goes, oh, that's funny because that's here.
Yeah. I like that character. Just how many movies is he in?
He was an interesting character. Is he in the other
Mr. Nobody? Yeah, I assume he's in the other
He's in something else. A couple of them, maybe.
Yeah. He was a very interesting character. I kind of liked him.
He's still green.
Who doesn't like Kurt Russell?
Like fresh baby.
Yeah, like fresh baby poop.
Oh, Dom's a daddy.
That didn't surprise me because the way they were talking about it in the beginning.
Yeah. And you know Letty was so happy she got to skip that bullet and not actually have a child.
You think so?
Letty was like, oh, thank God.
I had a conspiracy theory, and I thought that Elena, is that her name? The lady
Mama?
locked up? Yeah. I thought that she might be in on it. Like,
oh, okay.
and I also thought Redhead was in charge for a minute there, too.
Oh, okay. I definitely didn't think he was in charge.
I was surprised.
Not with Charlize Theron.
Well, Letty took the fact that he had a son.
Wait a minute. One thing I did not like, okay, because I think Charlize Theron is quite hot. But why did they make her look basically like Big Lips?
She looked like Sway.
Yeah, Sway from Gone in
She's a
60
Sway
Seconds. What's her
wannabe.
freaking Big Lips name?
Laura
Angelina
Croft.
Jolie.
That was her name.
See, you said Laura Croft again. He knew her character names. But, yeah, why did she have dreads essentially the same as being like Sway? Like,
Same blue eye look, pale
Yeah.
look. It was very much
I
a
was like,
Sway ripoff.
why do you look like her? Like, Charlize Theron is a hot woman. Why did you make her look like that?
Yeah, she could have been a little more.
I thought, for the one scene when she was at the Land Rover or whatever it was, I really thought that she was just going to have her hair like that for that scene to fit into the environment.
That would have been acceptable.
And then she would just look normal.
Just stay the whole time.
No, yeah.
Go away.
Maybe they could have done dreads and her have dark hair.
Maybe. I don't know.
Not blonde dreads. I mean, they weren't technically dreads, I don't think. I think they were just twists, but still.
Either way, yeah.
The agency garage.
It's hot.
This only makes
As
sense
F.
in this movie.
Correct.
Yeah, that
Why would they do
that
that?
was stupid.
They
It
just-
definitely wouldn't be that pretty.
No, it'd just be a lot.
Mhm.
No, like,
Or a warehouse. It could be a warehouse.
Maybe.
But it wouldn't look like that.
they're not stacking
That
them
looked
all
like
on top
freaking
of it.
James Bond crap
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah,
That garage.
that was-
Although I knew that when they showed the tank, and they're like, "Oh no, you don't get to drive the tank." I knew that. I knew that Tej was gonna have that tank.
yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
Well, it was in the trailer, too. Not that you watched it, but it wasn't there.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
She's crazy. Oh, in that same scene, a rookie sudden change of character. Complete change in character. Just not even close to the same guy. It's like, alright, just pick out whatever car you want. Like, rule follower turned to complete anarchist, practically.
He did experience some interesting things up to that point, and his rulebook wasn't working.
Maybe. I also think Cypher, she is totally psycho.
Yeah, for her to just straight up sadistically be like, "All right, kill them all." Like,
I'm so glad they didn't kill the kid.
oh yeah, I don't think that anybody would watch the movie.
This
I think
movie
they
was
would walk out.
one death from rated R. Like, there was a lot of dead people. Like, it didn't show the dying, so
That
that's
was
how they
the
got
thing.
away with it.
That's how they got away with it.
But there were so many
Like the
casualties.
propeller killer, the death was pretty fun. I was like, "Oh, lady's gonna push him off onto the propeller." Oh, look, we can throw a little bit of horror into the genre too.
There you go.
Because that was a horror death.
Touches everything.
Yeah. There was a lot of death.
Mm-hmm.
And so much. Yeah, I don't see. I can't think of another one, but. And then the collateral damage was ridiculous.
One thing I would have.
I do think you mentioned this when we were leaving, but like the Passat
Yeah.
driving off. You know why there's older cars? Because they couldn't afford to get
the punches.
all the new.
Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
so many cars.
There
in that
were,
scene.
and there was a lot of CGI too, and they were going back and forth. But like some of the bigger pile-up scenes, they appeared to be real cars, not necessarily one with the big Maybach. I think there was a lot of CG on top of that from the upwards facing camera, but there was still a lot of actual real car carnage mixed in with the CGI. So I think movie makers understand that they can't pull a scene like in Matrix 2, the fight scene with all the Smiths. They can't do an entire scene of CGI and it look real.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why they went back and forth between real cars and fake cars.
To fake, yeah. I think they also, Agency Garage, could they pick any more stupid vehicles?
Oh, dude, I thought this.
Why would you pick Lambos to go out on the ice lake?
Because I actually think that fits Roman.
At least, like,
I think that fits Roman to
put
a
some
T.
screws in the tire.
I just still think it fits Roman's character.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense to us, but we're not Roman. I will fight that one. I think that actually fits because there was another one that he wore. I feel like it was him that wore clothing that didn't fit the environment.
Like
he just doesn't think.
The rally car thing. What is that called? The rally fighters? That's what.
The one that Letty was driving? Yeah.
Like, that makes kind of sense.
Yeah.
So
No, that's the thing. Those people had sense, and they picked things that fit. I just really think it actually fits
and
Roman's
look where he
character.
ended up.
Yeah, exactly. In the water.
Granted, beforehand, when they find Toretto in the city and they needed fast cars to get him, I don't think they chose good cars.
No, Letty's was a good one because it went to her muscle roots, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
I think, again, Roman, I think the Bentley fit him because he just doesn't think about that sort of thing. I really don't think that he's that clever. I think the Dwayne Johnson's big international fit him. But really, that's it.
It really fit him, but it was pretty useless.
Well, it was pretty good for going through the shortcut.
That's it.
The scaffolding. Well, it was good, too, for holding the car until somehow he rips the door off magically and goes backwards and flips over. Mm-hmm. Isaiah was typing something, so I think he missed exactly how it happened. The international.
Yeah, I thought that was like...
For the tether.
He
ripped his door off, and because he was going in reverse, then the truck took off, hit a car backwards, and flipped over. Is how that happened.
Oh.
I
will say this movie is full of holes.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I still enjoyed it. I'm near the end of my notes. The quote, did he say yo shrinkage? That made me laugh severely too. The guy talking about his penis being small.
Yeah, come on, shrinkage or something.
That was funny. And then Dom's car never takes damage ever.
No, he hit
smashes through stuff.
That brick wall
and
when he hit that
there's not a dented panel on the thing.
It was scratched, but that was it. Another thing, too, is hypothermia is a real thing.
Yeah.
And Roman's clothes were completely dry. Uh-huh. And he was, I'm cold. That's all he said. He just said, I'm cold, no shivering, no blue African-American lips, no nothing.
I didn't catch
that. As much as water he was in, for how long?
He was in there for at least 15 seconds.
Serious
So
trouble.
he's cold. Yeah. I mean, unless Dwayne Johnson really had the heater on in that truck, I really don't see that working.
Maybe they had skin to skin.
Ooh.
Maybe.
They had a little skin.
That was a cut
Had
scene.
a little skin time in there.
That was...
He had the Rock over there.
Must have been an awesome heater, though, to dry his clothes off.
Yeah.
The last thing that I have in my notes that I think is worthy of talking about. Jason Statham was a babysitter for how long? Because it appears that he just brought the baby back and they're having a barbecue. Like,
that was
they got
weird.
all back together and
like,
we're having a
it took them
barbecue,
so
but
long
didn't
to
get
get
the
the
baby
baby
arranged first? Like, let's meet for a barbecue and you can give me my baby back. Like,
priorities, man.
That was so strange.
Well, you know, where was the plane?
The pilots, he had them land it wherever it landed, obviously.
Right.
And then he brought the baby over. Dom didn't want to go to the airport. He said, forget that. I'm going to eat, man. I'm hungry. No, he was thinking about family, food, and then my baby.
It's not like they're just they're all in different clothes. They all look good. They're happy,
showered,
having fun.
Wardrobe change.
They've had enough time.
Except for Jason Statham.
Was he still mad?
I don't know. He might have been in the same clothes. I need to see that again.
No, I think he was good too.
Okay.
I think he was in a suit.
Because the kid had different clothes on too. I think.
Oh, dang. He had his baby for a minute.
That's what I'm saying. He was just hanging out.
Why, whatever country they all were in, why didn't he get the baby there? I get you.
Yeah, I don't understand. Also, where did they get fuel and stuff? They flew a lot.
Yeah, staying under the radar. Where did they... Yeah. It's a good question.
I did actually like Jason Statham and his brother.
We didn't even talk about the plane scene of them, like...
I really enjoyed them flying into the back of it. Don't know how they overrode the door from a hacker. However, I did really like the rocket packs.
Yeah.
I don't care how believable it is. Yeah. I just really liked it.
I can't believe we didn't talk about that.
It looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's those hydro packs, yet not. Like, my goodness. And then all of a sudden they were like, shing, boom. And then they ran the
so
plane.
gracefully.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they've practiced that.
Yeah.
They were prepared for this exact scenario.
I did enjoy his time on the plane with the baby.
I wish the brother had a little bit more.
Yeah.
That was comical. I enjoyed that.
Actually did that really well.
The only thing is when he's like, asked the baby if the baby was okay while he's listening to this music really loud. The baby was like, yeah, I'm good.
It was comedic.
It was.
Really
it was hilarious.
It makes no sense because, yes, the baby does have loud music on.
I like how he turned
And
around.
he said, hey. Yeah, like, he turns to the baby, so you don't need to see this.
Smashed
He's like,
his face.
Senseless.
There are so many
Is that
face...
you?
face-
Or... No, it's him.
There are so many face
Guys, I gotta get out.
smashings. Like, just
Good night.
Good night, Matt.
faces into hard objects. A lot of it. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
I don't really think there is. Like, I feel like we covered everything unless somebody gave me something else to talk about.
I think
Maybe.
that I'm
Reminded me of something.
still at a good age.
I'm okay
I can't believe
with
the whole plane scene got left out of this conversation. But
You talking about Jason Statham's portion
Yeah.
of the plane scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I really struggled with how sadistic she was. She plays the part well, but what is her goal? Like, who was she trying to launch that nuke at anyway?
This is a good point. It never developed into tell us what it
I
was.
didn't. I did think about this. I meant to mention it, but I got off topic. But she never said who she was trying to show.
What's she upset over?
Yeah, what has
'Cause this
got
is-
the burr under her saddle?
Does she have any... She's not in any other films, is she? Or is...
No, I'm pretty sure that's it. They just they wrote her in as if they had been messing up her things throughout the films.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like she's in any of them. At least not that I caught. But
So, yeah, what is her plan?
Well, because she launched off of the sub. Well, was attempting to launch off of the sub when there was 3 seconds left on the clock. And do I cut the blue wire or the red wire? I don't know. Oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden he pulls out the chip. Boom, done. So, what was she launching that missile
Maybe
at?
that's the part 2 of the movie.
Yeah.
Fate of the Furious Chapter 2.
Burn me once, shame on me. Burn me twice, shame on you. He burned her 3 times. Now what's coming? Because she's already killed his baby mama.
Like, it did...
Is Letty
Even
actually
when they-
gonna die in the next one?
When they go to the barbecue scene, like, oh, she's still out there. And then it's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's keep eating
No,
steaks.
let's eat
Like-
food and have
And
fun
then
with
The Rock's
have fun with Brian.
The Rock's, like, out. I mean, from a paycheck status, he's out.
Well, he's been out of paycheck status, I think, for a little while. No, maybe not. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else. Sorry. Never mind.
I mean, I think it's cute.
I do think it's a little funny that no one even questioned the fact that Dom came back, really.
Yeah, all I had
mean,
to do is ram the rocket launcher, and everybody was like, hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back.
That was a fun entrance, though.
That was-
I hated the dive off the cliff.
I did too. It was so stupid.
But the ramming of the truck was a fun touch.
The ramming of the truck was fun. I also really liked the silliness with the heat seeker rocket. And I liked that the sub clipped him, kind of like a train in Power Rangers. It hit him. Oh, and they built him a little shield out of their cars. It was
so
cute.
cheesy, but
It was cute.
I enjoyed it still.
They're like, Dom, we got you. He's like, oh God, it's going to hurt. Cover my eyes. I don't want to be
I
like...
mean, had they not been there, he would have just walked away still. Because that's
No, that would have been Chuck Norris.
Oh, okay. When Chuck finally does die,
I wonder,
Diesel might be
I
the
wonder
big
what
show.
Chuck Norris would have done differently in that. I think he would have just snapped her neck in the very first scene.
You know, I feel like... I mean, they obviously had to make a movie out of this. I feel like Vin Diesel
He went along with it a
Dom
little too easy.
could have... He's such a tough character. But he never found an opportunity to...
Well, obviously he did. He went
I don't know.
talked
He had
to
a
her.
cool kill switch in his car. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. When did he have a chance to put that in there?
Don't know. God, check this out. It was so terrible. It was a like awful movie in the sense of just
Alright.
errors and just ridiculous.
So I gotta ask. I already know that I would own it because I own 1 through 7. Would you own the movie?
I would for like a $3 to $5 digital
I
copy.
think $5 digital copy, that's very respectable because that's borderline new release. Like, the first week, they're going to push it to about $8. Unless it's Disney. And this is not, obviously. So, it's probably going to peak about that.
Yeah.
And then, the fact that you'd pay $5, I think that's extremely acceptable.
I enjoyed it. Especially digital. I feel I feel better about digital. For some reason,
Well, it doesn't
hard copies.
clutter.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things I really like about it.
I don't need the disc.
Yeah.
As long as UV's there, nobody hits it with an EMP.
Yeah. I mean, they'd have to EMP the entire cloud.
On a side note, I was reading this article that like Voodoo and stuff can lose their rights to these things, and it'd be an interesting turn of events.
It would be, considering how much people have invested in them.
Yeah. Like for you, you'd lose some, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's people that
There's one I've seen over 6,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about however that's supposed to be set up. Like, just if something happens with Voodoo and they really can't figure out how to play nice, what is going to happen?
I don't know.
Because it took them forever to get that really good handshake with Disney. Because most of these people wanted to run their own streaming service. Like Sony is really, I think they would be one of the first ones to branch off and to say you can only watch our digital copy movies through our service.
Yeah.
They won't necessarily charge clients for it, but I think that almost they would be like the only way you can watch your Sony Pictures movie is through us. Because like things with Sony Pictures, they seem to be some of the weirdest ones. Because like, for example, Fun with Dick and Jane, I don't know if it's because the movie overall didn't do a very good job. Like it wasn't received well. It's only like 37% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It wasn't, but I enjoyed it.
The thing is I've watched it 3 times now since I did that upgrade a week ago.
Really?
I've watched it 3 times.
Wow.
And I love this movie so much. Like, it makes me laugh. And I think that the what's that called when 2 people have on screen, not charisma,
that's what I was going with.
it's not charisma, it's the other word. Chemistry on screen. Those 2, it's so good because she supports him so well in humor, and then supports him in seriousness, and then supports him like in every facet. I fantasize a wife supporting a husband, like every single part, sexually, the whole shebang. She supports every bit of her husband, and he supports every bit of her.
Yeah.
And I think it is hilarious how well it is. Like, they convince me so much that they are madly in love with one another. Like, there's so much stuff. And then the one scene when she walks in the door, they're doing the bank robbery, and he's wearing his whole thing, she's wearing a fro, and she passes out. And he opens the door and he's like, after you, or he goes, here you go, you know. And she goes, well, thank you, and just does this little boob cup thing with her breast at him.
Yeah.
Little things like that, to me, helped, made that movie so fantastic. And I literally get a laugh high from that film. I think it is absolutely, without a question, in my top 10. But I really think I could probably almost get to the
top 10
point.
movies?
Correct.
Ever?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it that much.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd have to actually sit and make a list to know for sure where it would fall into that. But as far as, I mean, would you call that a rom-com? Because I don't really feel like it's a romantic comedy. I feel it's more like a comedy that's romantic.
Com-rom.
Com-rom. I mean, essentially, it kind of feels more like that.
Yeah. No, because it's not focused on
romance in any way.
Getting together and
no.
stuff. They're together.
Yeah, they already are together. They have a family. Yeah. A familia. See, those little boys. Anyway. So, I think it's just so good. I don't know why. Beyond that, why I really... But it is... I really think that... Now, that would be saying, like... If I had, like, an entire franchise, like, I really love the Batman series. Well, I wouldn't want to say all 3 of them are in my top 10, unless they only took up 1 slot, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I really think that movie... It's definitely comedic ones. Like, comedies.
Yeah.
It's absolutely...
That's why I question it.
It's in my top 5, for sure. In my top 5 comedies.
Can you give me one other that's in there?
That's in my comedies?
Yeah, I don't need all 5 of them. Just want one.
No, I definitely love Notting Hill, which actually totally fits the rom-com. It's British humor, and I find it stinking freaking hilarious.
Okay.
And
plot.
then even
short plot of that movie.
Hugh Grant.
No, not characters, because that does not help me.
It'll help you. Hugh Grant, the British dude.
Who's Hugh Grant?
Just let me talk.
Oh,
the British dude. And he has a flatmate named Spike. He's Welsh, okay? And Spike is the guy with the crazy blonde hair, and then he runs a travel book shop, Hugh Grant's character. Julia Roberts is an American actress in the film that somehow runs into Hugh Grant. He's British, she's American. A romance grows, and eventually they're found out she's in the tabloids. It's just a whole big mess about her and him getting together. And I love it. One of my favorite movies.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Alright, it's a really good one.
Do you have it on digital?
I don't. The other one that is even higher above that is written by the same people, and it is About Time. That movie is absolutely...
Is that the one that's...
The British?
Accents? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good film.
That's a great film. Good film is an understatement. That film is...
Because this is the one where it goes back and changes, like...
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
That one is actually irrevocably... That word. Irrevocably. There we go. In my top 10. It is guaranteed. Actually, comedy-wise, though, that one's absolutely there. So, About Time...
Just thought of another bit we could do. If we needed to add stuff to our plate.
Okay.
If we could have a category. So, like, tonight we'd come up with it for next week. And by next week we have to have our top 5...
rom-coms.
Yeah.
Okay. That could be fun. Comedies. And thinking about all the comedies I've seen. Man, there's a lot of good comedies out there that are decently funny.
See, my problem is there's tasteful, and then there's, like, things like Anchorman.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's really funny.
It is very funny.
I don't know how high I want to rank it, though.
Correct. Well, like Waterboy, I find it hysterical, and I laugh at it a lot. But I can't see it making my top 5. But I think maybe Benchwarmers could, and it's the same family of movies.
Yeah. Because
Benchwarmers I find hysterical and also relatively good as well. About Time, though, is definitely in my tops. It's amazing. I love the film. But see, Fun with Dick and Jane, for what it is, it's superb. I can't understand how it was so low. Because their chemistry, the way everything laid out, like, it was silly.
It's just 'cause, I don't know.
Comedies generally don't, but still, it was so good. I know
what the best comedy movie is.
Best comedy movie ever on Rotten Tomatoes. Top 100 comedy movies. Number 1 at 100% is All About Eve, a 1950 comedy.
Yep, that's gonna be. They just want original content.
Okay. Not sure, actually. Okay, so it says genre comedy. I wish you guys could see this on the podcast, but it says top 100 comedy movies. Best of Rotten Tomatoes. Movies with 40 or more critic reviews vie for their place in history at Rotten Tomatoes. Eligible movies are ranked based on their adjusted scores. It says genre comedy. However, Get Out 2017 is number 2.
Why?
At 99%. So obviously, and then,
Man,
for example, number 4 at 100% is the 1952 version of Singing in the Rain. Because that is a hilarious comedy.
I haven't seen that. But I wonder how many of these are actually comedies.
They're not. Philadelphia Story isn't a comedy. However, for some reason, Zootopia is at number 10. That's incredible. Up is at number 11. This is a fun one that 7 is Toy Story 3 and 8 is Toy Story 2, oddly enough. Finding Nemo. That is a hilarious movie. I mean, it's got funny parts, but it's really not that funny. La La Land? It's not a comedy.
This is the worst list ever.
Toy Story. All 3 Toy Stories are in the top 20. That's pretty impressive. Lego Movie made 20. It's a Wonderful Life. I don't really find that too funny. Mary Poppins.
All right, so it's official. This list is broken.
Well, Ratatouille. That was a pretty good movie, though. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, 1953. 100 Ghostbusters. It's kind of funny. Let's see, number 1. The Man with the Ooh. Did I just see? The Truman Show did make it. That's a fun one. I enjoyed that one. Monty Python did make it on the list. The Life of Brian. Anyway, so let's just do action and adventure. Get Out. It's going to be number 2.
Go back to comedy and see if it's still broken.
Get Out. Here's number 2.
They are twisted with it.
Let's see horror.
So funny.
Let's see horror. Get Out is number 1. Get Out is number 2 in horror. 1920 is the top. Then Get Out for 2017 is number 2. Then number 3 is a 1922 film. Then 1965, 1933, 1960, 1935, 1968, 1931. Finally, number 10 is a 2014 movie. And Get Out has got number 2 for horror. Classics. Get Out is going to be in number 2 spot. All right, not really. Mystery and Suspense. They might make that list. Get Out, number 4.
Man, all movies do so well.
They did. Get Out, they really loved it. Of course, I kind of did too, though.
The documentary.
I did Special Interest first.
Is her that one where he falls in love with a computer?
Mm-hmm. I Am Not Your Negro. 2017 movie.
I think I saw Blackfish.
What is Blackfish?
I don't remember, but the name sounds so familiar.
Big Fish?
No, I think it's the movie about the whales, that anti-SeaWorld movie.
I want to watch this I Am Not Your Negro. This number 2.
Let's make that a podcast. I sent you a screenshot. I think it would be fun if we went and watched E.T.
I did see that.
I think it'd be so fun to watch it in theater. Apparently there's bonus content.
Rotten Tomatoes Top 100. All genres. Wizard of Oz. Number 1. I think it's funny that it's their number 1, yet it didn't make 100%.
Yeah, I don't know what the...
Inside Out made number 7. Get Out is number 10 of all time. I need to watch Citizen Kane, The Third Man, All About Eve, The Cabinet of Dr.
I'd like to see
Caligari.
at least the top 10.
Yeah. Inside Out we've seen. The Godfather. We tried to start watching that one. Right?
Which one was it?
The Godfather.
I think we watched that
Okay.
one. The one with the horse in the bed.
Yeah, Metropolis, rather. Let me say that correctly.
Oh, E.T.'s on the list.
Yeah, but Get Out, a 2017 movie, bumped E.T. down, surprisingly enough. And so did Mad Max Fury Road. They just loved it. I think it was good, too. It didn't make sense, and it was fantastic.
That's... to do well on Rotten Tomatoes, you just can't make sense.
Unless you were old. Gravity is really high. I got that one for free. It's 26. You want to watch it together, or you want to watch it? You just want to watch it whenever you can.
Is that... What synopsis of you know?
Can't tell you. I've looked at so many movies today. I can't recall. I'll just pull it up.
I think Gravity's the one where she's by herself. It's like Castaway, I think. No.
It's
It's a woman lead.
Sandra Bullock and George Clooney.
Yeah.
I meant to just play the trailer. I'm not sure when the whole film came out.
Wait, what? Oh, because you interviewed it. Let's just watch it together and we'll do commentary.
No, there was a trailer. Do you need to watch it anymore?
No.
Okay.
It was intense, though.
Yeah, so I have that now.
I wish we had access to the theater and we could just watch.
Oh, God, that'd be so cool. I just need to hit the lottery and I'll just build a theater.
We'll call it First Take.
With Isaiah and Jake.
I like it.
We'll call the theater First Take? I like that. That's even better.
Yeah.
First Take Cinemas.
We can put your name first. Since you won the lottery.
First Take Cinemas.
Jake.
We'll just have our own line of cinemas.
Just one. First Take Cinema. Or every night is Tuesday night. Thank you for checking out Stoplight Spoilers with Isaiah and Jake. If you like what you heard, come check us out on Facebook. Facebook.com/StoplightSpoilers. What'd you hate? What'd you love? What'd we miss? You can email me at stoplightspoilers@gmail.com. Let us know. Thank you.
I like to put your face into my heart object.
No, wow, Jacob.
What? What's wrong?
No, I gotta cut that out.
And?
Gas.
That's
wrong. You to, pipe that out. I'm gonna get you that anal plug.
Word. Probably gonna need the big one.